I wonder how long before I'm hauling a taxpayer-funded truckload of crack pipes for racial equality and shit. Oh my God. Where do I begin? First of all, I'm sorry about the podcast. I just, I'm approaching a 70-hour work week here. I'm currently in Kentucky. After I got done in Kansas City, Missouri area, like I think it was south of there that I went. I forget the name of the town. But I immediately got a load up to Detroit, Michigan area. Delivered that. Was going to go in for some repairs because my fucking tablet has decided that it no longer wants to talk to the truck. So I have to manually log everything and it's not tracking everything I needed to track. So I was going to get it repaired. However, the terminal looked pretty well backed up, and rather than spend 2 days waiting for them to fix it, I've decided to press on with it and get it looked at once I'm closer to out of hours, which will be down in South Carolina, which is where I'm headed now. I'm in Kentucky, and so I haven't had time to sit and record. Right now I'm on a small break in my driving day and decided to make this here video, which takes less time than making a podcast. But that doesn't mean I haven't been listening and paying attention to what's going on in the world. So, where to begin? Well, this is mostly focused on New York. So as many of you know, and for those of you who are new, you might not know, I was fucked up in New York. Let's just face it. My mental health was at an all-time low during the period of time I spent in New York State after I got back from my road trip last year. And, so many factors went into that. Just the complete lack of freedom, thanks to the Governor Hochul. And I started to get into this bubble where I viewed everything from the lens of being in New York. And some of y'all out here, now that I've been out of New York, seeing that this wasn't a thing everywhere. It was just in New York. Like, every state since I left New York, and don't worry, we're going to get to the lifting of the mandate bullshit, has just been going on about their business. No mandates. You wear it if you want to, except if you're an employee in some places, they're still making their employees do it. They're probably still making kids do it, knowing the Democrats. But seeing that and getting that perspective and realizing that all I really had to do to improve my health mentally was to get the fuck out of New York repeatedly, if not, indefinitely. I can't leave indefinitely. I have obligations. But for now, I'm doing the Nomad thing again. And it's going well. My mental health has improved despite it being being a piece of shit truck. And, but I'm enjoying not being cooped up in the house. Because in New York, as you know, I don't like going everywhere and just having it be a dystopian nightmare. I like going out and seeing people, faces, and people living their normal lives, and not worrying about somebody getting pissed off at me because I'm not doing what they're doing. It's no more people all up in your shit, and that's kind of what I was missing, I think, in New York. I have some great friends in New York, but the list is fairly short at this point, of people who also enjoy their freedom and who don't look at me as a conspiracy theorist or whatever the hell you call it, without getting banned off of YouTube. Not getting labeled and judged because I didn't want to toe the line. Those are the friends that stuck by me. But there's a lot of people that I thought were friends that were ready to throw me to the wolves, were ready to, bar me from certain things because of my medical status, and who just wouldn't listen to anything I had to say as they gave up all of the freedoms that, believe it or not, were being enjoyed by states around them. Some of whom were blue states that got there first. So, as many of you know, that was a downside. Like, some of you called me out on it. Some of you were like, look, don't get out. You gotta get the fuck out of New York. New York is the worst. When you do that and then you watch the media on top of that, which paints this picture of a fucking authoritarian nightmare everywhere, when it's really hasn't been the case, probably for a while, for a lot of these states. They have gotten back to normal-ish. Now, things will never go fully back to normal. Clearly, there's going to be some issues. So, there's going to be issues going forward, remnants of this, probably for years to come. There'll always be some motherfucker wearing their mask, driving by themselves down the highway. And make no mistake, listening to Hochul's bullshit speech, she's ready to pounce the next thing that comes up. So we haven't seen the last of this. The next variant, the next emergency, they're going to be right there to take advantage of it and take all the freedoms again. So I'm not giving New York a pass. My goal remains the same, to have my residency changed, so that I'm not putting money in the coffers of probably one of the most corrupt governments in the United States. Is New York. It's hard to tell who's in first place between California and New York, but New York having a slightly higher cost of living than California, from one of the statistics sites I left. Correct me if I'm wrong there. But we're definitely in the top three. And knowing that all that money that comes out of my paycheck is paying for these authoritarian nightmares to continue to thrive makes me fucking ill, and can someone answer me this? I know some of you worship at the altar of I imagine not too many at this point, as much as I've been railing on it over the years. But can somebody tell me the science involved when you're going to lift a mandate all across the state, but you're still forcing school kids, who are the least vulnerable population, to wear that. I mean, how are the kids going to function mentally with that? There's a lot of science that's showing the detriments of these things on these kids, and there's no science to support everyone else taking their shit off everywhere else, but forcing school children to continue to do this. It's completely, once again, a leftist political thing. It has nothing to do with real science. There's no real science to support that. Sorry. You can't show me a study. I look at studies all the time that says that everyone else not putting shit on their face, everywhere else in their life, except school, there's no science to support that. There's no data that supports that. And the other thing that struck me by Hochul's lies is she's claiming credit for our improved numbers in New York State, when you can see that exact same pattern play out in every state, regardless of authoritarian nightmare rules. So don't forget that, all right? Now you're going to see a lot of Democrats being like, because we did the right thing, our numbers improve. No, because you can look at a state that did the exact opposite of what you did, and they had the same spike and the same drop off at the end, and they didn't do any of the authoritarian horse shit that you did. So I'm sorry, unelected Hochul, you don't get to take credit for that. If anything, nature takes credit for that. But I don't want to get too deep into it, because I don't want to get any fucking misinformation labels thrown on me. According to YouTube and Democrats, my channel's the #1 fucking misinformation fucking channel on the whole fucking internet, apparently. I'm just a big fucking pile of shit who's been wrong about everything, right? Yeah, that's why we're doing exactly what I said we were supposed to be doing a year ago. Actually longer. It only took me 3-4 months into the page to really start calling out bullshit. And nearly everything that I said back then has come to pass. But what the fuck do I know? I'm just one of those people that's not towing the line. I'm outside the authoritarian bubble, so I'll be the first they line up and shoot when they finally do take over. Speaking of that, up in Canada, I've been following that too. It'd be a damn shame. I hope nobody throws a piss jug at Trudeau, because that would be the end right there. Do not, I repeat, do not throw a piss jug at Trudeau. That would be horrible. I would have to object 100% if you did that. I would have to condemn you for that forever. So don't do that ever. As for the protests, it just continues. They've got the border locked, but they're essentially shutting down commerce. They called the tow trucks in to try and tow them, and then the tow trucks end up joining the fucking protest. They're really gonna crash their fucking economy there. It's a no-brainer at this point. So it is what it is. And I think what we're going to see now here in the United States as a result of that is a wave of Democrats slowly saying, we did it, we got it, our fucking authoritarian bullshit has saved the day, now you can take your shit off your face, but you still need to go get jabbed 5 more times. But still, your freedom will give you have earned your freedom by following our unconstitutional fucking rules. Thank you for your service and shit. So you're gonna, and of course, we've still got some stragglers. One of whom happens to be the Biden administration, who has said nothing and done nothing to lift any federal horse shit. As far as I know, if you go on federal property or into a federal building of any kind, you still got to do the whole face thing, and they're still pushing the jab 100%. So, hey, it is what it is there. I hope that a lesson was learned from those of you who voted that regime in. But it's okay. It's okay because free crack pipes for everyone, and whatever other needles and drug stuff that you need, that's coming straight from your commander-in-chief, all in the name of equity. So we're ready. We're ready for this. Is going to be great. This 3 more years of this, I'm sure we'll be just fine. I'm sure we'll make it. There won't be any issues. We won't fail as a country in 3 years. I mean, you can't tear this. It's a couple hundred years old. It should take longer than 3 or 4 years to tear down, right? Right? Except that we already got a 20-year head start, in my opinion. But that is what it is. Anyways, I'm rambling a little bit. I just wanted to say that getting out here was a good decision. Whether or not I can stay out here, that depends on what the authoritarian doctors say when they try and take away my freedom again in 3 months. And I'm tired of the medical establishment having this amount of power in my life. And people wonder why I don't trust them at this point. How can you trust them at this point? After everything they've done the past 2 years, how do you trust them with your life, with your well-being, with your health? I just don't fucking see it. But that's me. Anyways, so I'm heading to South Carolina, going to get probably shut down for a few days, do a 34-hour reset because I'm about out of hours on my 70. For those of you who don't know what that means, I've been working too much and they make you take time off for that. And at the same time, I'm going to probably get the issues I'm having with the truck fixed in a nice, sunny, just south of whatever snowstorms coming, South Carolina, hopefully. And then move on from there. They've been keeping me busy. Freight out here has been insane for me. No shortage of loads, no sitting. It's all been dropping hooks and run and go and using up all my drive time every day. It's been fairly consistent when it comes to how much time I've been working. So that means the money's going to be good. Hell, the first 2 paychecks will replenish all of my emergency fund and my investment fund. So, and then after that, it's all about half saving, half investing until I feel like I got enough to, change my residency and to be able to go out in the Prius and enjoy some freedom. But I don't know. We'll see. So far, so good. And shit. As for the channel. Oh, sorry, I needed to get out of that chair. I will continue to make videos out here from the road. I will occasionally try and live stream. I don't know how that's going to go with my mobile connection, but I'll give it a shot one of these days. Maybe during my 34-hour reset down in South Carolina, I'll try and knock out a stream. I did get to make some music last night at the end of the day, so I spent some time doing that instead of making podcasts because I needed some kind of relaxation given that I've spent so much time working all week. So there's that. But hope you guys like the videos from the road. I'll give you a real quick tour. I mean, it's not much to it. Of course, I got my Jackery up there, powering everything, my fridge. I bungee it to this to make sure it doesn't bounce around while I'm going. Right now it's in park mode, so I've got it tilted off to the side. Of course, I've got my trusty refrigerator because this piece of shit truck didn't have a fucking refrigerator, even though most of the newer trucks have refrigerators in it. Got some light food there. I got some Slim Jims and this keto blueberry shit. Actually, it has a little bit of an aftertaste, a little too much sugar alcohol for my liking, but I had to try it because it is what it is there. I've got my dishes and shit, stuff like that, and that's it. I got clothing. I've got my speaker system for when I and pulled over. This has its own battery in it, so I keep it charging while I'm driving so that I can shut off the truck later and either run the heater if it's cold out or not run anything like I am now, but still have my power going. And then of course both this Jackery and this recharge as I'm driving. Of course, got my coffee maker and shit that it's an essential item out here. Being able to make your own coffee is a lifesaver, although I do occasionally still get lazy and splurge. Just got my clothes, laptop, camera, and that's all I really brought. It was a very minimalist setup. I did carpet the interior. Yeah, I left my dirty socks out. And of course I've got my food set up here. And basically, if any of you have watched my Prius travel videos, you'll know that that's pretty much my mobile setup. I designed this setup to be able to hop in the Prius and take road trips at a moment's notice. And it's the same for trucking. I can seamlessly put my setup either in a truck or in my Prius. With the exception of the bed, this bed came with the truck, and I left my other bed at home. So, yeah, but that's it. The fuck do I know? I'm not an expert. I'm just an asshole. Please like and subscribe for more shit, and I'll make more shit. If you like this video and you want me to make more videos, please head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com, sign up for my free email list. This lets me let you know when I got new shit coming out, because I can't rely on Susan to do it. And there's that. And if you want to support the channel, you can also head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com and leave a tip in the virtual tip jar. And I'll keep doing this shit. As for the podcast, I will record one during my 34-hour reset, which is coming soon in South Carolina. So I'll sit down and try and hammer out a podcast. I know some of you really enjoy having me in the audio format where you can do other things and just kind of listen to a long form show. So I'll endeavor to please. As for music, I'm definitely getting back in the rhythm of making music with my mobile setup. One of these days I'll show you how I do that. Maybe that'll be on the break too, see what it is. As for getting out of the truck, I just haven't had time. I stopped at one Walmart this whole time and just picked up some odds and ends. As for fasting, I know some of you are still keen on keeping me healthy. I have been pretty much Nomad every day since I've been out here, with maybe a light snack occasionally to fill in gaps. However, I have had 2 cheat meals since I've been out here. Basically, sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits. Simply because I didn't have time to sit up and cook and do all the dishes and do all of that shit. I just didn't have time. So, is what it is. However, I do know that I need to take care of myself. I need to lose some weight, especially with the upcoming physicals. So, starting Monday, I will be doing a 5-day fat fast. And then, of course, being keto coming out of it. So, we'll see. So, this is my last weekend of being able to eat. And then it's just going to be coffee, heavy cream, and water for the next 5 days. Now, I'm going to be careful with that because I don't want to, fuck up to the point where it impedes my ability to do my job. If I feel any bit like shit or lightheaded or any of that shit, I will break the fast in the interest of safety. So, is what it is there. But I'm pretty sure I'm full up on my electrolytes at this point, so I haven't had any cramp issues, so it should be no problem starting another fast, losing some weight, hopefully keeping it off, and I'm going to try, if I can get to some warm places, I want to try and get out and get some walking done. Have to have time for that, though. If I'm running balls to the walls like I have been, I just don't have time to fucking get out of this box. At least not very often, other than walking across the parking lot to take a piss every now and then. You know, that is when I'm not peeing in jugs in here. But I'm saving those for Trudeau. Have a nice motherfucking day and shit.